You and you alone are entirely responsible for everything that happens in your life, okay? Everything when it comes down to your actions, feelings, events, results, success, failure, emotions, your body, your behaviors, your money, who you are in relationships with, like who's your friends, who's your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. Your freedom, you're in your mindset, right? Everything in your life is your responsibility. Become the master of your destiny. Don't blame anything in your control on outside forces. Know what's in your own hands, know what's in your own control, and you can become the owner of your own kingdom. You'll be surprised by how much you complain about nothing or nothing that matters at all or nothing that has any effect on you. And you might even realize that the entire time that you were the problem. So we have a tendency to get fed up with things that we don't have any direct control over, and that can tend to make us miserable and run around in circles. We will end up just chasing things that don't matter. We'll end up chasing our own tail, basically, and we end up getting nowhere at all. And like I said, that causes us to become miserable. We end up starting to depend on others and outside forces. We end up blaming people who aren't even involved within our lives whatsoever. We allow the thoughts, basically, of other people to let us become miserable, and that leads to no growth whatsoever. We have to be able to change that. We have to be able to look within and know, okay, am I the problem? Am I the reason why everything in my life isn't going so well? Am I the reason that my friends don't like me anymore? Am I the reason that my family don't call me or anything like that? Am I the reason why I don't get invited anywhere? And you might try to blame everything on everybody else. Well, this person, I have this problem with this person doesn't like this. You might cope and say well, I didn't even want those people anyways in my life, whatever the case may be. And so that's just gonna be a destructive mindset and lead to a lot of behaviors that end up making us devolve further into just madness and pity and being just pathetic creatures on the earth, right? So you need to learn how to take accountability. Like I said, master of your own destiny, owner of your own kingdom, right? Don't let someone who is completely outside of your own body and your own life to control your life. Now, I can understand if you're a young person and you live with your parents and you don't have a job or whatever the case may be. But other than that, there are ways for us to be able to mentally own our own selves, right? You might not be able to buy the food in the house. You might not be able to drive a car or take yourself anywhere. But mentally, we can have the ability to control what we do with our emotions, what we do with our actions, and how we respond and react to people, right? We tend to be a lot more reactive. We tend to just lash out, and we tend to kind of go with the feeling or go with the emotion that is first presented to us in any situation, especially dire situations. And that can lead us to destruction. That can lead us to many things that cause us to have problems within the earth, that cause us to break relationships, or that cause us to become at a standstill within our lives. And again, like I said, that doesn't allow for progress. So we have to kind of sit back, relax, chill out, and really think about the situation that we're in, and really just hone in and zone in and think okay, what is the best way for me to respond to this exact situation, right? We tend to let people's words and actions control us. At the end of the day, we cannot control other people, right? As much as we crave power as human beings, and as much as we want influence, and as much as we want control over other people, at the end of the day, we don't, right? If you are someone who is able to inspire and motivate people, it is not you are not responsible for getting those people to where they are in their life. It's completely them, right? They wanted that help, they wanted that assistance, and they just used you as guidance, right? They could have went to anybody else as a source, but they chose you. But that doesn't mean that you have direct power over them. Now, it might show that you have some powers, but it doesn't show that you have direct and complete influence over somebody, right? Because we're not these autonomous creatures that just do and follow whatever the case may be. And some of us are. Some of us kind of almost are with the way we behave. We tend to just sit back and let other people make our own decisions. But by doing that, we don't discover ourselves. We don't know who we are. We tend to even think about what other people might think of us. Example, I'm in this little room in my school, and I'm over here. I was contemplating on thinking should I record myself? Should I record this? And I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. Whatever, all right? Who cares if somebody walks by and they see me, right? I shouldn't let what other people are going to think that are passing by to control me. I shouldn't let that be the case, right? Because now, if that's the case, I'm a slave to somebody who doesn't even realize that they've taken my freedom, right? I'm a slave to somebody who just walked by, right? It's just insane that we allow ourselves to willingly give up our freedom just because of insecurities, just because of what other people might think, just because we don't want to embarrass ourselves or that we don't want to come to failure, right? And like I said earlier, every failure you make is your own responsibility. Every success you make is your own responsibility. In order to reach success, in order to reach greatness in life, you have to fail, right? Whether it be willingly or whether it be unknowingly, right? We have to end up making these tiny decisions that might lead up to failure, and then we recuperate ourselves. We don't give up, right? We don't stop. We keep striving, and then it's going to lead to greater and greater success, right? Learn from our mistakes, learn from other people's mistakes, and don't allow people to just go ahead and influence your life any which way you can, right? And another thing, a great thing is like to get off the internet sometimes, right? Just get off of your phone sometimes and allow yourself to sit with your own thoughts, maybe read some books, right? And you're not always being swayed and switched by the algorithm and by whatever is going to feed you and stuff like that, right? You can think you have a bunch of different interests and hobbies, but really you really only have passion for two things. And what those two things are, go ahead and run with them. Don't allow anything outside of your own control and your own abilities to control your life, right? Sure, you might have a boss. Maybe you work at McDonald's and your boss is like an asshole. And you might think that, like, well, they're paying me, so I just have to put up with it. You don't have to put up with that, right? You can go up to them and say, like, hey, I don't like the way you're treating me or the way you're treating such and such or whatever the case may be, right? I mean, it's McDonald's. You can just go find another job. It doesn't even matter. But overall, just really focus on what you have control over, right? We will again try and find every which way to take the responsibility off of ourselves and take the easy way out. The easiest way out is to just put all your problems on something outside of you. But when you take into deep consideration, when you get up off your ass, right, and you actually start working and stuff like that, and you start improving on yourself, you might realize that, like, oh my gosh, everything that went wrong in my life was my fault. It wasn't my mom's fault. It wasn't my dad's fault. It wasn't my best friend's fault. It wasn't the dog that I ran across the street 5 years ago's fault. It wasn't my boss's fault. It was my fault, right? And when you're someone who allows life and just instances or just situations of the world to sway you whichever way around, people are going to be able to recognize that, and they're going to notice that, and they're going to try and push you, and they're going to try and sway you every which way around, right? Maybe that's why your boss is like an asshole to you, right? Maybe that's why your friends take advantage of you. Maybe that's why your girlfriend doesn't take you seriously, because every chance, every moment, everything that goes awry, everything that goes wrong, you can't handle it. You buckle under the pressure, and you end up becoming a weaker man and just a weaker person after that. So it's very important to realize and be conscious of our own decisions and how it's going to lead us and take us in our life. We have to make sure to know that everything that's going on in our life up to this very current moment is within our own hands and within our own responsibility. And we have to go on with the rest of our life knowing that, right? Some people might think it's too late for them to save themselves or to improve themselves, but it's never too late, right? It's never too late. There's so many opportunities. There's so many things that we can do to improve ourselves. The younger, the better. But even if you're older, if you feel like you've messed up or you want to turn back around, keep going, keep striving, keep going forward. Know what it is that you have to do, and just get all the resources you need in order to be able to teach yourself and to get yourself out there and to make new connections, fulfill your dreams, whatever the case may be, right? But that's about all I have to say. Like I said, change of environment, just for this video, maybe not forever. But yeah, see you guys in the next one. Peace out.